Sup players, SecTGT here, and today we're doing a Blackwing deck profile. As I ask all of you guys out there, you actually requested that I should do a Blackwing Yuga deck profile with the Allure package. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. And also guys, if you can hear something in the background, it's because it's a little bit windy, it's storming a little bit, and also it's raining. So yeah, if you can hear anything in the background, that's just it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. So to begin off, we are starting out with 3 copies of Simoon. This is your main starter that you always want to see. So obviously we are running 3 copies of this card. And yeah, that's basically it for Simoon. We all know him, we all love him. Alongside with 3 copies of Sutri, allowing us to search out cards like 3 copies of our Vada. So really great. And also this deck profile that I'm using here actually allows us to make a 1-card combo into Yuga, which is insane. Then I'm only using 1 copy of Shamal. You really don't need more than 1 copy for this particular deck profile, so that's the reason for why I'm actually only using 1 copy. So yeah. And I will say some people are saying these are bricks, but they basically allows you to go full combo anyways. So yeah, we got 2 copies, or not 2 copies, we got 1 Kunai, the Drizzle, and 1 Sonda. And I also apologize for the mats. I also bumped to the camera. I was recording some stuff here and on the UL playmat that I have here, and then I've just decided to use this playmat right here, which is usually the playmat that I'm doing King of Games videos on, so yeah. But yeah, 1 copy of each. Some people say they are bricks, but they basically allows you to go full Yuga Turbo. And for the rest of the birds, we're using 1 copy of Zephyrus, 1 Hamadan, 1 Shanga, 1 Chinook, and last but not least, 1 Bora. I will say the reason why I'm playing Bora is because that it's a really good search to have because of some of the cards that we're using. Plus, I know that some people in the past have played both this card and also Chris the Crack of Dawn, but I will say this is just the best one to run. You could also run the other one, it depends a lot on which one you're most to, but I'm just an OG, okay? I love the design of Bora. But that was everything for the Blackwing monsters. Now we go into our Allure package, which consists of 3 copies of Chaos Allure Queen. This is your main starter, and this allows you to go 1-card combo, because this allows you to get your hands on the Allure Queen level 7 that allows us to go into our combo. And last but not least were the monster hand traps that we're running. We're running 3 copies of Ash, because Ash Blossom is a good card. Then we're running 3 copies of Valor, and last but not least 3 copies of Throw and Lockbird. I would say these 3 monsters are really good. I also considered maybe cutting Effect Valor for other cards, but I don't know yet, guys. There are still situations where this is really good, even though that most of the times it doesn't do enough. And that is just my opinion. But yeah, that was everything for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we are starting out with 2 copies of Allure Dance. You can bump this up to 3 copies if you want. I'm playing 43 cards in this list right now. So there is an opportunity to play 3 copies of this and also play 2 copies of this card, which is Allure Palace. I just like to have it as a 1-up right now, because I feel like that, just like Shamal, you will not see it as much as you would if you play more copies. But yeah, and I will also be making a combo video of how you can utilize the Allure package to go into Yuga. But yeah, this card right here is basically also a 1-card combo, because it allows you to get this card or your Castle Queen to your hand. So yeah. And for the rest of the spells, we're playing double Whirlwind. I finally got my copies of QCR in this, and also the Zephyrus, if you couldn't see. 1 Black Feather Whirlwind. These are the perfect ratios. Sorry for my tongue twister right there. Because I would say these are just the best ratios. I know that there are some people that love to play 3 copies of this, 2 of this, but these are just the best ratios for not breaking. For the rank up spells, we're playing obviously the Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch and the skip force. Really good cards. There have been times where I've basically top decked one of these, and I were just right now just searching this with cards like Arsenal, or not Arsenal Falcon, Brave Strix is the name. And last for the spells, 1 talent and 1 call by. I will say these cards, even though that talent now is limited to 1, they're still really good cards. And I'm only playing 3 copies of Imperm for the trap cards. So 12 hand traps in total, which I would say is the perfect ratio for me personally. I love to sometimes play 15 hand traps slash board breakers, but I would say 12 non-engine is basically the best because it allows you to see your engine without, breaking as hard. But that was the entire main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're starting out with 1 copy of Blackwing the Soul Dragon. I will say some people have been playing 2 copies of this card, but I will say this card is basically good as it is for a one-off. Alongside with the 1 Blackwing Dragon, the 1 Boreas Storm, and the full Armor Master for our entire Blackwing engine in our extra deck. I'm also playing 2 other Synchro monsters, and that is the 1 copy of Dissipator and the 1 copy of Chaos Angel. I have been considering maybe using Nothung in this list, but I saw on the list and had the thoughts, okay, it's either Nothung or Chaos Angel. And I would say there's so many different scenarios where Chaos Angel is really good, where the only good thing about Nothung is that you can utilize him for Chinook, but you can also only use him in burn. Yes, it gives you an additional normal summon, but I would say it works better for the non-Kali Yuga build because our extra deck is super tight in this particular version here. So yeah. For the XCs, guys, we're using 1 copy of Brave Strix that we usually either summon with the use of Raider's Knight, or we overlay 2 level 5s together in the form of Kunai. And that's basically the old version to summon out Kali Yuga, because the new version here we're using 2 copies of Arsenal Falcon. Yes, the reason for why I'm actually using 2 copies is because of the Allure package. Because first of all, it allows you to summon out the first one, then you use the entire combo to get your hands into a second one. Because the effect is only once per copy, so it's not a hard once per turn effect that it has to summon from the deck, which is really nice. Then we're using 1 Ultimate Falcon, another tower in our deck. Am I right, guys? And last but not least, Kali Yuga, the big boy himself. I would say a lot of the people at my locals is beginning to figure out how to actually beat the Kali Yuga deck here, so I'm always trying to figure out new ways. Okay, how can I summon him? I also saw that Kanak made a version with the FTK with the Bilsius, I believe it's the name, the level 8 synchro that burns, or not that burns, that gains attack every time you take damage, and then you can utilize this with Assault Dragon to burn your opponent every time because deactivate and resolve a monster effect. So yeah, really fun. But I would say, and again, that is just an emergency if Kali Yuga is banned, but I would say there are so many other fun versions to play as well. But yeah, and last but not least, for the links, we're using 1 Darkness Metal Dragon. This is our combo piece to go into Kali Yuga. First of all, the Brave Strix to continue our combo, and the SP Little Knight just to have some instructions. If I wasn't playing the Allure package, I would have used Nothung instead of one of the Arsenal Falcons. But because that we're using the Allure package, we're actually, I will not say we're forced to play 2, but it is way more consistent to play 2 copies of Arsenal Falcon rather than just playing 1 copy. Because it allows you to basically go full combo, plus it doesn't use your normal summon, which is insane. But yeah, that was basically everything for the deck profile. A quick 10-minute video, I will say. And yeah, always, guys, I'm always sorry to, bump to the cameras and stuff like that. But many of the times I I just want to make the video, and if I give the camera a boop, then alright, it's fine. I can just, because it did like this, but it's not the end of the world, I will say. So yeah. But yeah, guys, that was basically everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be working on the combo video right now, how you can utilize this awesome deck to just go full combo Kali Yuga onto your opponents. And also talk about the combos that you can make, so you won't lose to hand traps like Droll, Nibiru, Ash, Veiler, Imperm, stuff like that. The deck can still lose to some hand traps. I know that one of my friends actually did Kaiju my... It was before we got the Allure package, I will say. But he Kaiju'd my Arsenal Falcon, and then I couldn't summon out Kali Yuga. So yeah, that's a way to deal with Kali Yuga, I will say that. And yeah, I also did find it a little bit funny that a guy, I don't know who it is, that commented on my what's it called, the post that I made about what deck profile should I upload next. But he talked about how can other decks spam out Kali Yuga than us, and I have no idea who the guy is or what deck he's talking about. So if he's going to see this video, I will say this: please comment on the video, what deck does he mean? Because I would say Blackwing is one of the few decks that can actually turbo out Kali Yuga. I know that Dragon Rubles also can do it in a version. And I will say that if it's the DDD cards, well, it never uses Kali Yuga in some sort of way anyways. So yeah. But yeah, that's everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.